A tight agenda, so I'm gonna get started. Welcome to Mahalo for joining us this evening at our monthly town meeting. We want to very much thank Tutu's House and the team for hosting us again tonight. We are streaming live on our Waimea Community Association Facebook page, as well as our YouTube channel, which can be found at our website, waimeatown.org. This recording will be made available for later viewing, so if you know anybody who's not here, you can send them to our website. We're so delighted to have so many of you here with us in person and those who are watching online as well. Thank you for taking the time. My name is Mary Beth Lachak. I'm the Vice President of the Waimea Community Association. I'd like to introduce the rest of our board. Nancy Carr-Smith is our President. Victor Tom is our Treasurer. Lonnie Olson-Chong is our Secretary. Our directors are Riley Smith, David Greenwell, Patty Cook, Chris Wong, Brian Ushijima, who is new to the board. We are delighted that he has joined us. And also new to the board is Leland Park. So Leland, sitting over here, is the Executive Director of the North Kahala Community Resource Center. If you haven't already done so, we encourage you to join the Waimea Community Association. You can do this at the sign-in desk with Patty and Riley. You can join through our website or by mailing a check to our PO box, which is on the agenda. We appreciate your support. Many thanks to James Eustace, also sitting over here, for his continued support of the Waimea Community Association. James is here with us tonight to aid with the tech part of the meeting, along with Leland Park, who will be helping us with this task moving forward. I will also frequently be joining Leland over there as well. We have a very full agenda that we are super excited about this evening. To keep track of time is our chief volunteer, Terry Greenwell, in the back. Terry will track time and let all speakers know when their allotted time is coming to the end. We have so many speakers and we are so excited to have everybody speak tonight. So I am going to ask, please keep your eyes open for Terry in the back. We are so grateful for her help. So something that we're trying to do this year is to engage the wider Waimea community and to have pule and prayers done by different faith congregations each month. We realize there are many faiths in our community and we want to honor, respect, and celebrate tonight. To celebrate that fact. Tonight we have Bishop Honolulu Sprouts here from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We first met over the summer. Actually, we've not met in person, but we have met virtually over the summer. I work at the Canon Francois Telescope when we were helping with food, the cow for keiki distributions. And we were able to connect and Bishop Sprout gave us a lot of food for keiki and helped distribute it. So mahalo for being here, and I will turn it over to you.
I'm gonna sign up over there already.
That was great.
Our dear loving Father in heaven, we're humbled and grateful to thee for all the blessings that we receive from thee daily, especially for the blessing it is to live in this beautiful place and to commune together, to get to know each other and to share in our achievements and in our different activities together. We thank thee for all those that have made this meeting tonight possible. For all of the hands that have prepared and for those that are also presenting. We ask you to bless all of us as we have this meeting, that thy spirit will be with us, that we will communicate clearly, that we'll be respectful to each other and understanding of all of the different situations. We ask you to bless us to be supportive as well of all of the good things that are happening in our community. We again love thee and thank thee for all that we have. We ask you to bless us to be safe and to travel home safely after the meeting and to continue forward with the different programs and activities that are planned. And again, we love thee and pray for these things humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Mahalo. We will have a brief update from our community policing officer, Officer Fanning, and Captain Roy here is as well. So mahalo for joining us, gentlemen.
Well, good good evening and aloha. Welcome to the meeting tonight. My name is Roy Valera and I'm the acting captain for the police station here in Waimea. At this time, our community police officer, Justin Kabanteng, will like to provide you with some crime and traffic information.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Well, just a couple announcements. So Coffee with a Cop, I just got a venue set up. So it's gonna be April 18th and we're gonna be at the Queen Shops Food Court. So if you know anybody in that area, if you're in that area, come down, have a cup of coffee, and I just sent out the newsletter. So be on the lookout for that. The newsletter is out. But real quick, the crime report for March. We had 5 assaults, 5 burglaries, 4 of which kind of were tied to each other. 5 criminal property damages. We had 21 theft incidences in March, 7 UEMVs, 3 UCPVs, and 2 drug investigations. Those were involving meth. We did have 5 major incidents in March as well. That's a real quick snapshot of the slide. For traffic, our officers did issue a total of 604 citations for the month of March.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of them, the highest were speeding and regulatory citations. They did issue 55 moving citations and 24 seatbelt citations, along with 2 child citations. They did issue 15 mobile electronic device citations, a cell phone, and 1 DUI arrests. We did have 12 major traffic collisions. Unfortunately, we did have 1 fatal crash with 2 fatalities, which I think the captain will cover. But in a snapshot, that's what I have for you guys, but happy April. Yeah, don't forget tax deadline coming up. Just a reminder for myself.
Well, I see that I have 22 minutes left. So what I'd like to start talking about is, well, thank you, Justin, for all those statistics. You know, I think the main portion of the statistics, especially the traffic ones, is to bring awareness for the need of roadway safety and traffic safety, especially now. You know, unfortunately, since the beginning of the year, we've experienced here on the Big Island, I believe 13 fatal crashes, 14 fatal crashes, as compared to, I think it was 6 at the same time last year, which is a significant increase. And so we just want everyone to concentrate, those of you who drive or are potential drivers, I see a whole bunch of potential drivers here. Please concentrate on being safe on our roadways. You know, when I was young, and I kind of talk about it in the newsletter, and this was probably like 60 or 70 years ago, when I was young, you know, it was always stressed to talk about distracted driving or defensive driving or speeding. And I think some of these concepts are really not talked about nowadays. So please have a conversation with your family and friends. And you don't have to have a whole dialogue about it, but please remind your loved ones and your neighbors that when they drive, put down the cell phone. Leave with enough time to get there instead of speeding and being late. And also, you know, I never had a cell phone when I was young because they didn't have cell phones back then. But a lot of our drivers now are seen having this mobile electronic device in their hand when they're driving. You know, our law requires that we have 2 hands on the steering wheel for our safety and the safety of the other drivers out there. So let's make sure that we put the cell phone down, maybe use a Bluetooth device or a cell phone holder instead. Don't have it in your hand. Pay attention to everyone around you. Sometimes we get into the mode of just driving ourselves and focusing on ourselves, but we got to watch what's around us. You know, who's coming out from a side street, the car that's approaching, and maybe check your mirror, see who's behind you and how close they are coming up upon you to allow enough space. And we just want to really stress the message for everyone to focus on roadway safety and safety while driving. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you, officers. So next up, we have some community announcements for you. We will have the flyers come up on the screen here. As I'm sure you all are aware, but in case you have not heard, this is Merry Monarch Week. So it is happening as we speak with craft fairs through Saturday. The Merry Monarch Parade starts Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Tonight is Miss Aloha Hula. North Kahala Community Resource Center is having, sorry, the parade. I didn't realize we had a parade slide. Go ahead. The North Kahala Community Resource Center is having their 7th annual charity golf tournament at Hapuna on Saturday. There is still time to enter, and I'm willing to bet Leland can answer some questions about that. Next slide, please. Our friends at Hawaii Wildfire Management Organization are holding 2 virtual webinars on wildfire preparedness, April 18th and May 1st. Next slide. Discover Your Kuleana will have their next event on April 21st at Parker School Theater from 3 to 5 p.m. The topic is the people of the treasures of Waimea. Next one, please. Experience PTA Day will occur on April 25th between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. This is an open house to learn about some of the great things that PTA is doing in partnership with our community. Next slide. Last month, we told you about Waimea's own Darby, a miniature horse who comforts patients at Queens North Hawaii Community Hospital. Darby was in the running for National Pet of the Year Award. Well, Pet Partners recently announced that Darby is the winner of the 2024 Pet of the Year Award. Congratulations, Darby. Next slide, please. In case you have not heard or noticed, Hawaiian Electric is asking everyone to reduce electricity usage in April. Let's all do our part. Next slide, please. The Waimea Family Food Truck Family Event is April 19th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the WM Keck Observatory front lawn. And last one, please. The Waimea Arts Council is having their most recent art craft event on Saturday, May 4th. Free space is limited. Last slide then. And we would like you to save the date for our candidates forum, Thursday, July 11th at Kihilu Town Hall in Waimea. So, as you know, we feature a local nonprofit every month, and we pass the basket around and collect donations for the organization. So please be aware, this will be coming. Auntie Lonnie and Chris will be walking around. This month, we are celebrating the Hawaii Youth Rodeo Ohana, and so that will pass the basket when they are POW. I'd like to welcome Luana Keakealani to come on up and talk more about the exciting program for our kids. And thank you for bringing all of the keiki.
Mahalo, aloha everyone. Mahalo for blessing our evening tonight. My name is Luana Kekialani. I'm going to read this because I wrote it with intention, and there are things in here that I wanted to make sure that everyone got a chance to hear. My name is Luana Kekialani, and I'm one of the founders of the Hawaii Youth Rodeo Ohana. I'm a rodeo mom of 12 years to 2 cowgirls, and by profession, I'm a medical social worker. HYRO, or Hawaii Youth Rodeo Ohana, is a registered charitable nonprofit organization which supports the lifespan with a focus upon children and youth ages 3 to 19 years old. With the help of several families with ties to the original Paniolo of Hawaii, HYRO was co-founded by an early childhood educator of 28 years, Lynn Higa, myself, a licensed clinical social worker specializing in children, youth, and families, and my husband, Sunny Kekialani, with 49 years of rodeo experience. And he said, as long as I did all the talking, he would come up and stand next to me. I said, okay, then you get the questions. He said, okay. Anyhow, let's see. In fact, the volunteers that wrote our bylaws are the families that helped us found the organization. And some of them work in our local education system as teachers and administrators. So I felt like tonight was fitting with the theme of early childhood education. Our early childhood component is comprised of our Pepe division, and they start at age 3 years old. They are 3-year-old cowboy and cowgirls on up, and they have their own rodeo at our rodeos. They participate in events like pole bending and barrel racing on foot, using stick horses, running around the barrel. They do goat undecorating and dummy roping. They each get a goodie bag at the end of the rodeo, and they dress to the hills with full rodeo attire, sometimes in fringe and rhinestones, sometimes in all pink and unicorn helmets. So that's our early childhood group. Recently, we applied for a grant to support our operations in season 4, which begins in October. The grant asked that we address a community condition, so we decided to take a look at the pre and post-pandemic educational statistics of our youth on Hawaii Island. And I know that some of you are subject matter experts in education in this room, so bear with me. I can provide the citations if you need them, but we did pull some stats that were very, telling of where we're at with early childhood education. We saw that there's been some improvement in specific schools across complex areas on our island. However, that language arts, math, and science proficiency have not yet reached pre-pandemic levels as measured by the statewide testing. Statewide proficiency scores across all 3 core academic areas for Native Hawaiian students in particular are lagging behind most other ethnic groups and have not yet rebounded to the pre-pandemic levels. Additionally, chronic absenteeism continues to be an issue with a trend toward fewer students regularly attending school in recent years. The Hawaii DOE reports 37% absenteeism in 2021 and 2022, which is the last year of the data currently available. Chronic absenteeism, which is defined as more than 15 days missed in a school year, is a complicated issue because it's an indicator of both what children are doing in school and out of school, or what they have missed in school and what they've engaged in out of school, which can be both positive and negative. When looking at the rate of chronic absenteeism by ethnicity, again, the situation is even more dire for our Hawaiian children, with 52% of Native Hawaiian students chronically absent in 2021 and 2022 in terms of the school year. So, and I can start our slideshow. Oh, this is our bunch here from Hiro, some of them. So this is where Hiro and early childhood education come together. Let's go back. Hiro created events for children to learn patterning prior to mounting a horse so that they understand the fundamentals of rodeo and have an opportunity to build confidence early on. Children are provided choice, like what flag they want to hold in the grand entry and what music they want to listen to during the competition. They are included in decision-making from very young because engaging in activities like rodeo at a young age not only promotes physical coordination, but social skills like building friendships, self-advocacy, and commitment. These are things that I've witnessed myself as a rodeo mom. Hiro provides an educational piece at every rodeo, which is free and open to the public. We believe that sourcing education from within our own communities is important because it empowers our families when they see people that are teaching that look familiar to them. This is opposite of the narrative that says that youth have to leave Hawaii for a good education, right? So we're saying we can learn right here at home by our own people. And it's working for us. And you're all invited to come. Let's see, at Hiro, the ohana learns together. It's often generational. Grandmas, grandpas, aunties, uncles, family visiting from other islands, they come to the rodeo. They attend our educational workshops. This is in alignment with the National Association of Education of Young Children, NAEYC, which some of you are probably members of, where they present models for family engagement from a generational perspective and understanding the power of parent involvement in learning. So I'm not an educator, I'm a social worker, but we do look at how education has an impact on health and health has an impact upon education. So that's really important to us. Hiro strives to foster positive learning experiences for young children. We also know that creative learning engagements. Yeah, we can keep going.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I'm good, I'm on time. Let's see, Hiro strives to foster positive learning experiences for children. We also know that creative learning engagements are especially important in rural areas like Waimea, Honoka'a, Kahala, our whole island, right? Because of our varying levels of access to education resources. So again, it's important to come up with creative learning engagements. And also because sometimes, education policy is made without it in mind that we have specific community needs in rural areas. So Hiro knows that. Hiro knows we have to come up with these other angles of learning, these creative ways of engaging families.
We're taking our teeth, you know, actually.
Huh?
You're running out of time.
Okay, perhaps most of all, this is my closure. IRO seeks to support all youth with specific interest in perpetuating Paniolo culture and island subsistence living. We're saying to our youth that if you have an interest in food production, that's good and that's okay. They're the future of agriculture in Hawaii, the kids that come to IRO, so. So this is our trip this summer is to Oklahoma. We have our first ever qualifying team that have competed throughout the season to qualify to go. And so it's gonna be at the Lazy E Arena in Oklahoma. And the next slide, and then our contributions from tonight would go toward our trip to cover travel expenses. We're also doing a golf tournament in June, if there's any golfers in the room. This is the QR code. You can also just go to our website and our Instagram page to find out more about the golf tournament in June. Mahalo.
So much for coming. And again, Chris and Auntie Lonnie are gonna walk around. And we need you as your light to help Auntie Terry back there on keeping people on time. You're awesome. All right, so now for the main part of our meeting. We are so excited to be focusing on early childhood education. And we want to begin with the importance of the early childhood education. So presenting that will be Angela Thomas. Angela is the Hawaii County Department of Research and Development Early Childhood Specialist. Mahalo to Angela for joining us, and a huge mahalo for her help in organizing this month's meeting. With Angela is Chelsea Ching, also with the Hawaii County Department of Research and Development Early Childhood Office. Chelsea will share critical information on the Preschool for Open Doors program, including their recent increases to income eligibility limits and expansion of the program to include 3-year-olds. So, Angela.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks for the introduction.
There is a podium lever if you want to pull up on the end there.
Oh, that's okay. I just wanted to know. There went a minute. Okay. So basically, Chelsea and I are part of the County of Hawaii's Early Childhood Resource Team. And you're kind of wondering why is the county into early childhood these days? And it's primarily because it's an economic development issue. People couldn't go back to work because a lot of preschools had lost capacity. And so there's a shortage of childcare island-wide, actually nationwide. So they've decided they allocated some ARPA funding in the economic development section of research and development to try to sort of mitigate the issues around early childhood. So, okay, so what we did was we basically, if anybody wants some bedtime reading, we did a data book on the condition of families and children in the county. Really great numbers, but what we did was we took that information and put it together into a plan. And the 3 components of the plan are to improve child outcomes, that's our main goal, by building capacity, increasing the quality and quantity of the workforce, because you have to have teachers in these buildings that you're going to be opening to welcome the children, and also to support community-driven initiatives around bettering the outcomes for children, pre-kindergarten for sure, but because NAEYC talks about the early childhood period being between birth to 8 years old, but we also are looking at the up to 3rd grade. Next slide, please. So we took a look at the island population, and I know you're primarily interested in our division or a district. So this is the Kahala district. We have about 17,848 children between birth to age, is it 18? No, so this is the whole population, sorry. The next slide, I think, is birth to 18. Yeah. Yeah, so it's broken down. And then this one is 0 to 17. So we have about 3,752 children. And the next slide, I think, shows only the 0 to 5s. So you're just whipping through these. Okay. So we have about 918 children in the Kahala district, birth to 5. Okay, so then as an early childhood person, the one thing you think about is what are the basic needs for children? And if you've studied Abraham Maslow, you know that his hierarchy of needs at the very bottom is the need for safety, shelter, and nutrition. Without those things, it's very difficult for a child to reach their full potential. All these early childhood people are saying, yes, that's right. Okay, so anyway, the more of the data starts going into housing. These are the children, individuals and children living in poverty. So we've highlighted Chelsea and her fancy tech skills, highlighted the communities that we're probably most interested in. Hawi, Wanaka'a, Waikoloa, Kamwala, and Kapa'au. Okay, the next slide. This one's interesting. Based on the data we've collected, there's 1 out of 20, what is it, 1 out of 5 vacant homes on the island. And so what it means is that they're short-term rentals, or they're people who live elsewhere and have a second home here, but they're not a long-term rental, it doesn't have a mortgage, and they're not people that have paid off a mortgage that are living in the home. So we have a housing problem here. And these are the largest of all the communities, the largest numbers of homes in those communities. So Captain Cook, for instance, which is interesting to me, has almost 4,600 vacant, what we would term vacant homes. And if you want interested in Waimea, we have 15, well, actually between Waikoloa and Waimea, we have, I did the math, 3,433. So if you think about it, it's all the resorts that are VRBOs, we have timeshares, those kinds of things, but that's a lot of houses in our district that are, quote, vacant. Okay, next one. Thanks. So this is their free and reduced lunch program. And so again, we've highlighted the schools with the arrows. The ones, this is Waimea. This one, I know you can't see. Let's see, what's this one? Kahala. So basically the communities that we are within our district.
And we added.
Yeah, and Honoka's in there too. Okay, the next one. So if we look at kindergarten enrollment, these are the numbers that we brought up for this school year. No, last school year, right? 22, 23. So these are the numbers of children that need to have, well, if you figure that this is our kindergarten enrollment, we probably have those many children in that are 4 and that many that are 3, because basically our birth rate sort of stays fairly similar every year. Okay, so the next one is rather telling. This is the first year that they've introduced the kindergarten entry assessment. So it's an assessment of all children that enter kindergarten, whether they come from homes or whether they come directly from home, whether they went through a preschool system, whether they had some other type of early childhood sort of opportunity. And what's happening is we found that statewide, 29.6% of our children are ready for kindergarten based on this chosen assessment that the DOE is using. And what's exciting to early childhood people, you may not think so, but it's going to give us data across the state. What's happened in the past is that kindergarten teachers would come together and decide what they chose as things that they wanted kindergartners to know or do or be. And so different schools had different assessments. This is the same one being used across the state. Every kindergarten teacher has been trained to administer the assessment in the first month of school. So everybody coming into school gets this assessment. These results were published December 7th of last year. So they're brand new just from this school year. Never happened before. I'm so excited. Of course, they don't look good, but it's a place to start. At least we're all on the same page. And unfortunately, our kids in Hawaii County, only 19.6 are ready. So there's lack of spaces. There maybe needs some more training in our existing centers. And then a lot of kids are coming out of home. So we need to do much more family engagement to get parents to understand the importance of this particular assessment. Okay, so they assess in the areas of language and literacy, math, which at 5 is really about language. It's like being able to count, 1, 2, 3. It's being able to name shapes, like for instance, a triangle, a square, things like that. So it's still language. Social foundations and physical development. So the green ones are the ones that are ready. So apparently in Hilo, we have Olympic athletes coming up. And we have really social kids in Konawaina. And Honoka'a is the school district, so it's Waimea and Honoka'a together. And then Waikoloa is already in Kealakehe. And then Kahala is, stands alone. It's a unique district. Okay, yes.
What does the orange mean?
That they call it emerging, but they're far from ready. So the green is ready. This is approaching.
Yeah.
And this is emerging. So they're just very polite terms. Okay, thanks. Okay, so knowing this, the next score for us to look at is the third grade reading. So statewide last year, 21 to 22, because the latest is 22 to 23, right? We're in 23, 24. Okay, so 21 to 22, the statewide average reading score was around 50%. This doesn't mean that they failed their reading test. This means that only 50% of our third graders can read at grade level. It's a major milestone. It's like indicative of whether a child's going to graduate on time, whether they're going to perhaps fall off the wagon in high school and get involved in things. I mean, it's really a big milestone. So, but the next year, it didn't get much better. 22 to 23, the scores didn't get that much better. In fact, some of them flip-flopped a little bit. So we've highlighted the ones, did we highlight them?
No, the next.
Oh, the next slide does, sorry.
Those are okay.
Yeah. So these are the reading scores for the schools in our communities. So, but think about it, if only 30% of our kids are ready for kindergarten, it's it's not a surprise that only these many would be doing reading in third grade. So what we really have to do is beef up the pipeline, make early childhood much more important, not only for child care so that people can work, but for developing the future workforce. These people and these kids in 10 years are going to be applying for jobs. We need them to be able to read. So I am appealing to the businesses in our community, the chambers. Think about your employees' children, not just the employee's ability to work. Okay, that's my sermon. Okay, next. It gets worse. No, me. Okay, so these are the numbers of the licensed providers in our community, which is really exciting because everybody one is here tonight. We have 6 licensed childcare centers in Waimea and 1 in Honoka'a. And then we have Tutu and me here as well tonight. So anyway, it's very exciting. And they're all so different. We have traditional Montessori, we have a traditional developmentally appropriate, we have Kamehameha schools, we have Punana Leo, we have every choice you could possibly imagine in our community. So we're very fortunate that families have choices of where they want to put their children. Did I want to say anything else about that? Oh, and I'm sorry. And then we just added an EOEL. Sorry, Kenny. So this year, they're not licensed by DHS, which is why they're not in this tally. EOEL is strictly a DOE program that's run on a DOE campus. And so Tammy will talk about that. Oh, sorry. EOEL is the Executive Office of Early Learning. Okay, the next slide. This moves into more of the statewide work. So Lieutenant Governor, you've probably heard the buzz. She's been talking about the Ready Keiki initiative. And we're going to take some credit here for the term that she uses, the promise of universal access to preschool. So she used to call it universal preschool, but it kind of gave us the impression that all of this preschools will be on a DOE campus. And we wanted people to have choices like you will hear about tonight. So we told her that she should use the term universal access to preschool because that allows all those options. Paul is nodding. We did that. Okay. Okay, this is the need. So she did a survey and figured out how many children we have. This is statewide data. How many children we have, how many are served by existing preschools, and how many more are needed. And there's a percentage, 20%, she estimates, through research, that will probably opt out of preschool, where families just aren't interested in preschool for their children, which is fine. So anyway, the need right now is 405 more classrooms across the state. Statewide, yeah. No, we're not doing that here. We don't have that many kids. Yeah, okay. So she's really got a big job. She's got her $200 million. She's building out preschools across the state. It's very exciting. We had 11 and then this last year we got the one at Waimea. And next year they're adding Kahakai, Pawilo, and Naalehu. Well, they're building 3 classrooms in Naalehu. They're in the planning stages. And then also there's going to be one more at Volcano. So those are coming down first. So then we'll be up to, I don't know, like 17 or something, which is good. Okay, the next slide. So in the Lieutenant Governor's plan, she's trying to do a 3-pronged approach. There's the public pathway, which is what we're talking about now, the EOEL classrooms in DOE campuses, taught by DOE qualified teachers with an early childhood background. Then there's the workforce where they're providing, like we talked about, having more teachers and better qualified. So the workforce pathway is to provide stipends for teachers that want to go back to school. Chaminade and Kamehameha schools have this Newell scholarship that they take a 50, I think, in a cohort a year going through the program, and they will pay for the whole bachelor's degree. So they're a 4-year commitment. And then the private pathway that I'm gonna let Chelsea talk about a little bit, which is the funding for the private preschools. So all of you guys that are running preschools don't fit into the other ones except for the workforce. But the private pathway, how she's trying to support the community-based preschools is by providing tuition subsidies for families whose children want to attend the schools. So next slide, please. So in the past, she had $12 million the state was giving away $12 million for preschool open doors. So I'm going to steal some of your thunder. There are two kinds of subsidies. One is federal. Oh, 5 minutes. Okay, no problem. So the federal money is called Child Care Connection. And in order to qualify for that, you have to be working or in school during the hours that your child is in care. Okay. Preschool open doors is a little more flexible in that you don't have to be working. It's mostly to provide your child with a year before kindergarten. So it was all about 4-year-olds. But this year, and we had $12 million. This year, it's the first year, the legislature last year passed it. They gave her an additional $38 million. So now we have $50 million to support subsidies for families. So a couple of things have changed though. So there's now 2 years of funding because she's added 3-year-olds to the mix. So if you have a 3-year-old, a child's going to be 3, to go to this 3-year-old classroom, you are now eligible. Okay. She's raised the income eligibility level. So more families are going to be able to access the funds. There's a sliding fee scale that's capped at 7% of the family income, which is amazing because a lot of people were paying a whole lot more than that. And there's a higher rate of the subsidy. So it's up to $1,500 a month for an accredited preschool and up to $1,200 a month for non-accredited. So it makes a big difference in terms of the amount of money that's available and how many people are gonna be able to access it. So sorry, but kudos to her. This is great. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, the ledge, I guess. Yeah, they voted on it. Okay, so sorry, Chelsea, I took on your words.
Basically, I don't have to say anything, which is really great, but I wanted to go back to how Angela was saying about the lieutenant governor putting in money for higher education for early childhood professionals and Kamehameha schools and everything. Our county also does have some scholarships available for anyone who lives here on Hawaii Island. We can pay for your college classes and early childhood education. So call me. Also, can you, the next slide. So here's the income. We all can all our families at your preschools can qualify for this. Like have them apply. The deadline was March 28th. However, there's so much money in there. Like Angela was saying, $50 million to spend. I don't think that they've gone through it by March 28th. So have your families apply. If you know anybody in the community with young children, have them apply. They can either call Patch, they can call me. I can help them with documents if they're here. We don't have a Patch office in Waimea, but there's a Patch office in Hilo and Kona. But yeah, Angela took every, I mean, like. She took it off of me. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Angela.
Right. Thank you. We'll have the opportunity to ask questions at the end. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming. And we are really excited for our next guests. As Angela mentioned, we have all of the heads of schools or representatives from those preschools from Honoka'a all the way here to Waimea. And so we're actually gonna go from east to west in terms of which school we're starting with. So that starts with Miss Paula from Kahala Keiki Preschool. She's a great advertiser for the preschool.
I know, right? Hi, everybody. Thank you, Angela, and thank you, everybody, for having me. I see a lot of familiar faces, and I ran into our little student. This is Cassie Lynn, and she's a student at our school. I'm the director at Kahala Keiki Preschool, and we're in Honoka'a across Malama Market. We are nationally accredited and licensed through the DHS, and we are open year-round and through the summers, which is really hard to find. So we're always open. Let's see, what else? And we enroll kids year-round. As long as we have space available, we will enroll kids. So sometimes there's movement if kids move away or move off island. If we have a space available, we will enroll them even if it's mid-year. Because we're nationally accredited, we can accept a lot of different subsidies. So I left some business cards at the front. If anybody is interested in more information, you can contact me through my contact there. Oh, we're licensed for 37 children. So we're licensed for 37 children. I don't know if you can see our school pictures here, but we're across Malama Market, across the road from Malama Market. We look like a house, but we actually have a pretty big space. We have a hidden playground out back. So it's a nice little secluded school there, but thank you for having me.
Thank you, and thank you so much to Ms. Paula's helper. Next up is Mr. Blaine from Punanaleo. Also brought assistance.
Aloha mai kako o wauno ka elele mai ka punana leo o Waimea. My name is Kaohea Singh from the Punana leo o Waimea. We are located behind the Hawaiian Homes Hall and the Kamehameha Preschool. We first opened in 1995. And the special thing about our school is we start makapapa inana, so our 3 and 4-year-olds. And we have our first graduating class of seniors this year, so you can continue through the program all the way up. Mai ka wā e komo ai ke keiki I loko o Palumi Papa from the time that the keiki comes into the classroom until they puka mai ke kula ki eki until high school. Aia malama ia ke la me ke ia ka ina o ka la every part of the day maka olelo Hawaii. We even teach English by way of Olelo Hawaii. And everything from the preschool has a ka'ina. We have, everything is a aina based, cultural based, we call it our ike ku'una. And some of the ohana who are here tonight have had their keiki come through our program as well. Another interesting fact about our kula from when they first opened in 1995, we have two of our teachers, two of our kumu, who are actually the original founders, part of the original founders. And so that's a really special dynamic to have them there as well with such a long tenure. with us. So a lot of our teaching, again, is based off of traditional knowledge. And we respect everything that, you know, Hawaiians had this way of maka'ala, right? We have just aware of everything from the past to the future and everything around us, and we're always listening to things. And so we pay respect to that, and that's the medium with which we teach our keiki. And it starts, this is Lavena. Well, ha'iwau ya olua, e kuaku no ka piko. Go stand like how you do piko. And that's what we do for respect. And we teach them the ha'iolelo ho'olauna. That when you get up in front of people, you know to introduce yourself. So, e olu mai. O'oi, ha'iolelo ho'olauna.
Kai kai kuna yau cinco inoa. Ono umakaiki hele au I ke kula o aro ke hau o ka aina mauna.
O wai ko mamahua.
O ko umamakua o Blaine Asing lawa o Kamomi Pagaduan. O ko kai kunane o hele ia Asing. Anohu au ma ukapu makohala. Mahalo.
That's how we teach the kids. You know, everything is based off of this, is the ike ku'una. And we drive that home. And another incredibly special thing about our kula is that we meet once a month as parents for our PTA. And beyond that, once a week, where the makua get together and we do a huiki pai pai, where we sit and we talk about Hawaiian language, Hawaiian culture, and we learn from each other. And we have a system that we teach from. And that's once a week on Thursdays, but I'm here instead tonight to tell you all about that, which we also include, is open to the public. Thursday nights, we teach our Papa Olelo Hawaii. That's for the kaya ulu. But oya ka'u, or oya vale ka'u, that's all that I have for you tonight.
Hello, next up is Miss Nancy with Malama Po.
Aloha. I'm with Malama Po. I've been with our parent organization, Kahala, for 24 years, from the founding. And just the last 5 or 6 years, I've been the director at the preschool. And I'm excited tonight to share that we just found out we're going to be able to offer a summer enrichment program for preschoolers and a kindergarten readiness program for kindergartners. And so the enrichment program will be June 10th to June 3rd, and the kindergarten readiness is July 8th through the 19th. And it's open to any students that they don't have to have been part of Malama Po, and they can be entering any kindergarten in the state to do the kindergarten readiness class. And it's just to prepare them to get ready to start kindergarten. Our preschool is culturally based. It's not immersion. We try to get language and culture infused in what we do, and we partner with Kanokaina Public Charter School. We're on the same campus. We share the campus with them. So we do a lot of activities with them, and we are still taking applications. I think I have a couple of spots left. We're licensed for 38 students. With our space, we don't ever have 38 students, but we have about 32 to 34 is what we shoot for. Since COVID, we haven't quite reached there. Just trying to build it up as we go along. But looking forward to the summer program, and I do have some flyers if anybody wants them. And it's also on our website, malamapoki'i.org, and the registration is really easy. It's just right on the website. You can fill it out right on the website. So thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Principal Tammy from Waimea Elementary School.
And Marguerite.
I wasn't sure she was coming to with your moral support.
So aloha, thank you for coming tonight. We are really excited to announce we're accepting applications to work with us. No, I'm just kidding. But I am always looking for pre-K teachers. So But we are excited. This is our first year to have the EOEL program. And so we are servicing right now, 6 3-year-olds, and that's a lot to go along with our 8, I think, 4-year-olds. So we have the capacity to go up to 20. And so that's really exciting for us. It's been a lot of fun to mix those 3-year-olds with those 4-year-olds because there's a different needs, but that is an initiative that comes from the Lieutenant Governor. So next year we will continue our registration. The wonky part of it is that it doesn't rest at the school. So we are more that you can apply in different ways. You can go straight onto the Lieutenant Governor's website and you can apply through them. You can come to the school and pick it up, and we're more than happy. Marva Lee will give you a little bit more information on that, but you can come to the school and we can help you. You can go to our website and we can help you. And all of that goes to the state. So we do ask for your patience because we can't give you I cannot give you an immediate answer. So they do have a priority in which your applications get accepted. And so Marva Lee can kind of fill you in on how does that priority work. And please know when we say we're working hard to make sure that all of your documentation gets in, because you will have to submit your W-2, your financial statements. You have to fill out an application because that is part of the criteria. And she's fabulous in making sure that you can get all of that in and that we can get it to the state so you can know. Because I know it's really important to know as soon as possible if your child has that spot, that awesome spot. So Marguerite, you want to talk about what it looks like, the criteria?
Aloha, I'm Marguerite Carvalho. I'm the registrar at Waimea Elementary. And so with our EOEL program, like Cami said, all of the approvals come from the state level and then it goes down to us. And then, so with the EOEL program, it is a public state preschool. So priority is given to certain families in certain situations, such as families experiencing homelessness or unstable housing, families whose income levels are beneath the 300% federal poverty guidelines, children in foster care, children who are English as second language learners, and special education. So if if the child has an IEP or something that places them in that type of general education setting. But we are open right now for enrollment, and we will be throughout the summer. And our max is 20 spots.
Yeah, and they go quick. So, yeah.
They go quick because there's such a need.
There's no deadline, there's a rolling. So you can, even if it's, we tell you that we're out of capacity. Sometimes people move or transfer, so go ahead and get your application in and we can accept throughout the year. Yeah. Yes.
What is the window of time that the program is offered during the school day?
So it's a regular school day. It's a great question. So it's a regular school day. We do run an 8:30 to 1:45 just because to help support the traffic. We know that our families like to walk our babies to the classroom, and given where we are, parking is limited. So we run a little bit after that crazy school hour, so come in at 8:30, walk on campus, hang out with the teacher for a little while. We like to do a morning, come together, sign in. It's all about that literacy rich environment, learning how to hold that pencil, write your name. And so you can hang out with us for a while and then come back and pick them up at 1:45. We are, you can see where it's called a CEP school. So it means 100% of our students receive free breakfast and lunch. And our preschool have access to that as well. Yeah. Yes.
Are these preschools year round or just
It runs the same calendar as our normal DOE school system. So our first day of school is August 7th and then it ends May 30th. So it does run the normal. We do have this year, as we do all years, we have our kinder camp. So we're excited. Any incoming kindergarten student, please come and hang out with us for the summer to help transition. So we're going to start that July 1st and we'll run through July 17th. So it's a 3-week period and it's really great for those incoming kindergartners. They can learn the routines. where the cafeteria is, and it's also nice for the family. Sometimes it's hard to let our babies transition to school, so please come on in and help set that routine and those expectations and help reduce that stress for everyone. Kindergarten registration is open as well. It's always a rolling enrollment, so please come register early. That just kind of helps set the class list and gets everyone going, and then we will notify you. It's the week before school when you can take that assessment that we were talking about earlier. It's called the KEA assessment. So appreciate it. I'll be here if you have any questions. Thank you.
Principal Tammy. Next up is Miss Pierre from Small World Preschool.
I feel so nervous. I'm always, I can always talk in front of kids, but I see a lot of familiar faces, but yeah, this is the first time I've been to something like this, so yeah, I'm open to anything. But anyway, Small World started back in 1981. I was 26 years old. I was like, oh my gosh. And then now we're celebrating 43 years. And we take them from 2 years of age, and we're licensed through the Department of Human Services. So from 2 to under 7. And we're staffed. We have 7 of us there, and we can take up to 49. We do have a wait list. And but we have a good curriculum. It's a solid curriculum. And we're opened from August all the way. This year we changed it. We would go all the way through June, but now we're getting older. We're doing it only through the month of May. So, there are programs out there like the Open Doors and the Hawaii Keiki that we really encourage a lot of parents to seek out, because a lot of them do need the help, and sometimes they're not educated in knowing what's available out there for them to help subsidize that income, and get their children, because it's so important, and it is helpful to educate them that that's the foundation that helps them later on in life. And so no matter where they go, I believe no matter what preschool, what school a child goes to, they will always be nurtured in a wonderful way. Everybody offers something great. And whether it's our preschool, whether it's Punana Leo, whether it's in Honoka'a, everybody as educators has something wonderful to offer the children. And when you set that foundation, you're setting them out for success. You're setting them up and out for success. And there's one thing that I always encourage parents, and I share with them: if there's ever an investment that you're going to make in your child, it should be to educate them. And not everybody belongs in that certain school that sometimes parents want them to be in. You have to know your child, what works for them, what fits them. It's always, sometimes it's always what the parent wants, because Mary and Johnny are going there, so they're friends and they want to. But it's for me, I think that a lot of times you have to know your child, and you have to put them where they're going to be successful in life. So anytime that you put your child in a preschool, you're setting them up and you're laying that foundation for them. And I've got to say, God's been good to our preschool, because even when we had COVID, we were closed for a very short time, but we were determined women. We're all choleric women. We're driven to provide, and we put a plan together, and we stuck to it. And it really blessed the parents, and they were very grateful that we were willing to step out and do it. So, coming together like this, we work together as a family. It doesn't matter what the name of your preschool is. We come together as a family to educate the children in this town, so that one day you don't have to see them out on the streets. that's not where we want to see our kids. We want to see them going on to become, you know, people that God designed them to be. So, yeah, so we don't have any room right now. You can always call and you'll be put on the wait list.
I have a two-part question. What is your motivation after 43 years and what's the plan for the future of Aulau Preschool after you and Miss Ozaki?
Well, all I know is I'm not stopping. It'll be the day I have dementia, you know, that I won't be educating, but for me, it's not even a question now. But we have it set up because I have a daughter and a granddaughter. Miss Ozaki has a daughter because there were 4 of us that started the preschool. And now it's just Barbara and myself. And we were born and raised in this town when you could pick up your child from Waimea school on your horse. Now you'll get the rest. But there is a plan in place and she's telling me I need to stop.
Hello, that was for telling us about Small World and also reemphasizing the importance of the early childhood education and the wide varieties of schools that we have here in Waimea. So up next is Miss Bonnie from the Montessori School.
Thank you so much for organizing this tonight, Angela, and for inviting me to come. I'm just like, I don't know, I'm so nervous in front of grown-ups. I came to Waimea in 1980 to teach at a Montessori school and had a 3-year commitment and had young children of my own. So at the end of the 3 years, I thought I should spend a minute or two with my own children, but got many, many calls to open another school. So there was a little building down Opello Road, and one of the parents in the school I was in said, you know, you should just open another preschool. And I thought, well, I don't know. I don't want to take business. And they said, no, competition is good. So it's really wonderful that we have such a variety of preschools to choose from in our community, and all of them are so wonderful. Montessori principles can be used in any school. You don't have to be a Montessori school. And we have hosted several teacher trainings at our school through the years. And we've been working really hard because I think that's one of the biggest challenges in teaching all over the United States, and especially preschool, is staffing. I've had, during COVID, we were open and lots of people moved in during that time and they wanted to offer us more money. And it's like, we need more space and we need more teachers mostly, and we can take more children. We're licensed for 49. We started our school in 1984. We worked with a group of parents and the whole community helped us really to get our school started. We didn't have any money. So we had 7 committees, and the committees built furniture, they built the playground, they fenced the play yard. And we started the school in a very small amount of money. We had a little bit of money to buy the first batch of materials, but we opened with 40 students our first day. And we did a lot of tuition training for all of the work the parents did. I don't know if we had much of an income for a few years, but we're very, very grateful to be here still, serving children of the community. I do feel that 0 to 6 are the most critical years for education. They're like little sponges, and so it's very important for them to be in very enriched and prepared environments, which what is Montessori is all about, is setting up an environment that everything the child needs is within his reach. So we have 5 main areas of the classroom. There's practical life, which is everyday living. There's lots of pouring and spooning and dishwashing and baby washing and chair washing and table washing and water play, and it's like an ocean down there. And we have a sensorial area, a math area, a language area, and a science area. And children are free to go work in any area they want to at any point in the day. And it's a mixed age group. So our license is from 2 to 8. We have a toddler classroom for 2 and younger 3s. And then the preschool starts from 3 and goes up to 6 or 7. we did have up through sixth grade at one point. We did that for quite a few years and then Parker opened and that was wonderful because they fulfilled that lower elementary need. But it's really wonderful to see how happy the children are and to be able to, Pierre's been here. We've both been doing it for the same amount of time. And I find it more enjoyable every year. And, so I'm very grateful to be in this profession. And we are full. Our license is for 49. We have about 100 people on our wait list.
Wow.
And, if we had more staff, we could take more children. And so right now, that's our challenge is to figure out how to get a training program. Ideally here, and I have been speaking to, I can't wait to talk to you. I have some new information, but either to bring some trainers in here and do something over the summer. We did do it, we have worked with Chaminade through the years and Punana teachers came and Kamehameha teachers came. Teachers from every preschool, we had 17 teachers get trained and take those methods back into their preschools. Because it's a wonderful way to approach children. It allows them free choice. It allows them to develop their self-discipline. And really develop their interests because we're really following the child's interests rather than what we think they need to learn. And it's amazing, if we leave it for them, they're like little sponges, as I said, and they just absorb all that information. So thank you very much. We have some cards if you want any more information and some pamphlets if you want some more information on Montessori out on the table. So thank you so much.
Great, so next up is Namaka from Tutu and Me.
Hello, everybody. I'm Namaka. I'm the new site manager for Tutu and Me. I just put this here.
Really?
Camera, right?
People find you.
Oh, that's so neat. All right, so Tutu and Me is from Partners in Development. It's a nonprofit Hawaiian organization, which was established in 1997. We have started Tutu and Me in 2001. It's a traveling preschool from 0 to 5. We are located at Imiola Church on Tuesday and Thursdays and Wednesdays, and Monday and Wednesdays we're at Honaka'a Complex. The program runs from 8:30 to 10:30, and the program looks like 15 to 20 minutes of circle time. We start with a song, we have a book to read, any announcements, and then they go off, the families and the caregivers and the keiki, they go off to their centers and they have lesson plans. There's like 12 different centers: math, writing, art, indoor art, sensory, manipulatives, and they have about an hour or so to work on that. And then they come back to circle, we do our closing circle, and then that's the end of our day. So it's a part-time preschool. It's a really great option for tutus and any caregivers that are taking care of keiki. We also have babysitters that come in. There's a wide range of keiki and their caregivers. So it's a really great program, and it's also free, which is a really big bonus because we know that childcare and early child education is very expensive sometimes. But like Chelsea was saying, there's also some great programs through Catch. Some other things about Tutu and Me, we do huaka'i once a month. So we just went to the mala at Waimea Middle School. We go to the zoo, we go to Imiloa, the Astronomy Center. And again, that's also free to the public. So we cover a lot of admission and fees. Let's see. We're also, like many places, we're also looking for more hires. So if you're interested, if you know anybody that would be great with keiki, please come see me and I have information. We have a great benefit packet. We incorporate Hawaiian culture and values every day. We have lots of professional development opportunities. We prioritize health, physical movement. We engage with joyful, work with keiki and their caregivers. I also want to mention we have home visiting as well. That is a branch from Partners in Development. They offer free diapers and wipes once a month. So we all know diapers can add up and get expensive. So that's also really helpful for families. And I have enrollment forms too, if you're interested. We're actually all pal with enrolling new keiki this school year, but next year, we're definitely looking for more. So let me know. And do you have any questions? No? Okay, thank you.
So mahalo to all of our presenters. There is one more elementary, preschool in Waimea, and that's Kamehameha Schools. They had a conflict at the last moment and weren't able to come, but we wanted to, let everyone know that they are here in town and that they had intended to be here. So we had such a wonderful diversity, and mahalo again, if we can have a round of applause for all of those presenters. Last but not least this evening is Hoku Fernandez from the County of Hawaii Parks and Recreation. So she is going to be speaking about the Summer Fun program that is happening in North Kahala, including here at the District Park.
Yes. Okay, so so first of all, I've been on this position for 12 days. 21 days, okay, so I gave up my Miss Honolulu competition today. Bryson Baring, so he's at the Waimea Community Center and I'm here at the gym. So it's very exciting and so awesome to meet all of you because you guys are inspiring, especially you women. Oh my God, so inspiring. So we have two programs here at Waimea Community Center and at the gym. The team program is only limited to 10 people. It's $130 per person. And then at the summer fun, we have K to A6 and it is $130. May 3rd, you call. We have flyers on the outside as well. So you'll call the number, leave your name, your time you called, and your phone number so we can get back to you. And there's no calls we'll take before that unless it's informative and you want information. And then they go first come, first serve. And that's, first come, first serve. So we have a lot of things, so it was neat. They talked about traffic safety. We have a week of traffic safety. Those statistics for rodeo, that was awesome. That was so awesome. And then Ready Kid, the statistics you guys have for that, oh man. We don't know what we can do because we work on a $0 million budget. Like all the field, but yeah. So that's where we're at right now. We have a lot of things in the planning and we're trying to work with it. I have a guest that came with us, my cousin, Gayla Ann, Halina from Molokai. She's here for the Marimar Oha had a table. So we're gonna partner with them as well as the two county people that are here, Chelsea and Angela, right? I got the name right or wrong? Oh, thank God into my amnesia. What they call it? So anyway, if you have any questions and you wanna know anything, we'll try and answer, but we'll probably defer you to Dude Shelton Kalilikani, which is our supervisor. So remember now, 12 days, 21 days. And we're done. We want to make it quick. You guys good? Any questions?
You mentioned in Waimea that it's at the community center. Is that right? Or is it?
No, it's at the teen center, but that's the program is out of the community center, but both will come to the district park. So with that, we
The gym.
No, yeah, the gym, yeah. So one more thing, we are looking for 14 through 24, call Alulike. We can hire 5 teenagers or, from that, so work with Alulike. And then we looking for a sports manager to work during the week. So we're also working with Alulike on that. So just so you know, we're trying to work it together. And that's it. Any questions? Okay, no, we. Okay, thank you.
Oh, 12 days? That's an incredible presentation. So thank you for that. I was gonna say, I don't think Sheldon mentioned that when I talked to him, that you were just.
No, he just throws us in there, yeah.
And thank you for giving us the local ticket.
So thank you for having us, everybody. That was awesome. You guys are all awesome.
We're delighted. So we will take some questions right now. While you're all thinking about your questions, I want to point out that the County of Hawaii has provided some childhood literacy appropriate books that are out in the front. You want to grab them on the way out. And so they're age appropriate. So take the ones that are most appropriate for your keiki. I see the front row already has grabbed their book. So thank you. And so does anyone have any questions for any of the presenters? So Angela or Chelsea or any of our preschools?
Does any of the programs run continuously throughout the year or just regular fixed schedules like regular?
Does any of the preschool trends?
We do 200 days of instruction.
We do year round, but we have breaks
All of
between.
you.
We take a couple weeks break and then we have a month and then a couple weeks break and we go back in for August.
Yeah, and Miss Paula, had to leave after she was done presenting.
She's
so-
your own.
She's your own. Thank you. We appreciate that question. Other questions?
The question is for Angela, actually. Are there things that the community could be doing to support early childhood, like the legislature or?
Good question. Okay, so there, you have 1 minute, put it up.
The one bill that I'm supporting, is HB 1964, and it's all about, subsidizing wages for teachers. This is the most important career that's gonna affect the future of our society. And our teachers, on the average, are paid $14 to $15 an hour. And it's not acceptable anymore, because what we're doing is subsidizing the tuitions of families by accepting the lower wages. So there's a bill to subsidize all teachers. Apparently there's 4,300 providers across the state. And I think they've whittled it down to a $2 an hour increase. And so it passed WHAM today. I haven't seen the committee report yet, but that's the biggest hurdle. Now it's got to go to conference, and we've done this last year. It got to conference, but then it died. So, but it's different this year because it includes, last year was only infants and toddler teachers. This year it's infant toddler, it's all of these guys, group childcare centers, preschools, and a stipend to family childcare. So it's very important. It pretty much covers everybody. So they're looking at a $2 raise for 4,300 teachers across the state. So if you could do anything to help support that, if you know Donovan Delacruz personally, give him a call and tell him, if you do one thing, you have to do this.
But you should call your senators,
Yeah, call all your senators.
Total dollar value.
Oh, it's 19, well, they whittled it down to 19 million. It was 77. But 19 is good. We'll take it. Anything. Yeah.
Although,
exactly.
you know, they just passed a law in California that the minimum wage for the fast food workers is $20 an hour.
Right.
And directors don't make $20 an hour sometimes too.
Other questions on preschool? I will ask one of the preschool. What is your one favorite thing at your preschool?
Ooh, what?
Your favorite thing at your preschool? One favorite thing at your preschool?
The children.
Oh. Does anyone else have one they want to add? Because I did open that up for everybody.
Cookies.
Cookies. Well, make sure you get a cookie here before you leave. So were there any other questions? Do we have any questions online? Oh, Chris.
For Tutu and me, does a parent have to bring them or can it be a grandparent or auntie, uncle?
Any caregiver, auntie, uncle, sister, and yeah, as long as they're 18 and over. Yeah, and pass their background check.
Okay, 18 and over and pass your background. Did we have any questions online, Patty? Was any? All right, so if we could give everybody just one more round of applause. This is the first time that we've done a preschool and early childhood themed meeting, and so we very much appreciate the effort that everybody put in for attending and the work that you do for all of the keiki in the community. Next month, our town meeting will focus on emergency preparedness.
I have a question for Hyro. When does your season run?
We start in October.
When are registrations out?
It'll be around September, being August, September, and it's one rodeo a month and free to the public, both Saturday and Sunday. Calendar will be on.
At what arena?
Where?
Did I miss all of this? No, when you presented?
Say it again.
No.
There was so much to share.
Follow the Instagram.
Send us a flyer.
You follow?
We can highlight it in the community calendar next in the future. So just email it to us. Right, anything else?
Actually, there is one question.
One question. Okay.
For the preschools with 100 plus on the wait list, at what age do parents need to register in?
So what age should you be registering your child for the, okay.
No, they really, what's happening is because now we have this toddler environment. We've got 16 back there when the 13 or 14 graduate. One's going into kindergarten. We now just got licensed for kindergarten, so, but still they go off to the kindergartens because they can't get in if they don't get in. But, I forgot so they start, and then, yeah, if they get into the toddler program, then they move right into the 3 to 6, and you don't really have much more room, and that's where the biggest list is for the 3 to 6, because we've got them already started at 2.
Yeah. Some call it at 1 year, when you're 1 year old. Oh, right, it's too early.
We don't have a wait list at Punana Leo. Good fun, us guys. Good fun. Hey, no joke, we ain't sing on the Merry Monarch stage last night.
But the early registration of children actually kind of creates a catch-22, because what happens is you're waiting on 3 or 4 different lists. So when the director has an opening and they call you, you've already booked at another school. So it's kind of it's a mixed bag.
And to manage the wait list. And really what I wonder, my question would be, how do you give the spot to the most needy family? One thing I forgot to say is we really work hard at having a diverse population of children from all economic backgrounds and all ethnic backgrounds, because that makes the most sense.
Thank you. Thank you again. So next month, our meeting will focus on emergency preparedness here in Waimea. We'll be meeting at a new location, the community center at the former Mamane Bakery. Yes, so thank you all for tuning in, those who came in person and those who are watching online. This was as I mentioned, this was our first convening of early childhood educators, and we're so delighted that you all joined us for this very critical discussion. We appreciate you all and are looking forward to seeing you in the future. On the way out, there's some more of the handout materials on the table, and don't forget those books from the county. Thank you. Good night.